some isolated cases. You know, maybe there's more to come. We don't know. You know, anytime the the game is cleaned up, it's better for all of us. You know, we do things the right way. We do things a certain way. We have a certain expectation here as to how we're going to react day in and day out, how my staff is going to function. And so hopefully, you know, moving forward, they'll find whoever was guilty of those transgressions and react accordingly. We're just going to be business as usual here. Nothing changes for us. You know, so I don't think anybody ever thought the FBI would get involved in that kind of stuff. I think that was a little bit of a surprise. You know, I think the NCAA knows more. Everybody's like, why did the NCAA do something? Well, they don't have the authority to do what the FBI did. I think they would have. I think they know more than people think they know. We give them credit for that. So we'll see where it goes from here. But as far as I'm concerned, it's business as usual.
Well, what does college basketball have to do, or is there anything it can do to self-police itself better?
What you can do is, when you know something's going on, turn that team in. Who does that? Not a lot of people do that. I do it. So I've turned programs in, and I'll continue to do that when I know that there's stuff going on. But a lot of times you don't know what's going on. You know, so can you police yourselves? Only if you know something's going on. But even then, it's hard for the NCAA to do something.
What kind of, when you do that, or have done it, I should say, what are you up against when you for instance, when you call the NCAA?
You're not up against anything, really. They're all very interested in getting to the bottom of it. But, you know, if you don't have, you know, they can't wiretap your phone. They can't run a sting operation. They can't have, you know, insiders. So maybe this is a game changer with regard to the FBI's involvement.
Have you ever veered away from recruits because of...
Every day.
Yeah.
As a father to kids who play in AAU ball, have you seen it, stuff like what we read about in that arena as well?
Yeah.
How hard is that to deal with? Again, just as a father.
Well, you know, you see it. You know, I'm in a little bit different position because, you know, Connor and Patrick were good, so they were invited to some events and so forth, and you hear, you know, some stuff that kids are saying. But again, I go back to, I think, they're isolated incidents. We know some of the organizations that are, you know, inclined to be that way. We shy away from that. But I think, you know, if you go to some of the events that my boys went to, I think a good percentage of those, if not the majority, are legit. There's a handful that are not.
Fran,
that's just the nature of the business.
When you were a young assistant, or did anybody shape kind of your way you do things, I guess, because you, in terms of...
I've always been at institutions where it was really important. A couple things. You know, when I started at Lehigh, and you know, when I got there, we had 4 winning seasons in the previous 65 years. So really, nobody paid any attention to anything that we were doing, including the people there, quite honestly. So then I get to Notre Dame. That's a different story. You know, and then, you know, the day I was hired, Digger Phelps hired me, and I met with Dick Rosenthal, our athletic director. And Dick welcomed me and put his hand out and shook my hand and said, we'll do everything we can to help you the whole time you're here. He said, just don't ever cheat. That's all he said. And, you know, when I was hired at UNC Greensboro, it was funny because the chancellor was a woman. She was interesting, and she said to me, she said, you know, I have openings for the the chairman of the economics department, and I get a few phone calls. I have a basketball coaching position open, and I get a million phone calls. And she said, everybody tells me you're a good coach, that's great. She said, but I'll tell you one thing, if you don't graduate your guys, we'll have a new coach. So, I think in a lot of respects, I worked for really good people at Lehigh. Peter Likens was our president. He ended up going to Arizona. Stand-up guy all the way through. So I think Digger Phelps prided himself when he was at Notre Dame. He was there 20 years. There was never one NCAA rules violation. Not one. 20 years, which is pretty impressive. So it was kind of how we lived. It wasn't like we got up and made a conscious effort. Okay, today we're going to abide by the rules. It's like this is the rules we follow, and then we grind, and that's how you do it. So I think it's very important who you have on your staff. Because they're the ones that are in the trenches as well. So I'm pretty lucky. I've got the same three guys at the top who have been around and have seen a lot. So that's been good. I've been friends with Al Cyber and Courtney Eldridge for a long time. Courtney played for me. So if you surround yourself with really good people that have the same outlook on things that you do. And the directive comes from Gary Barta. And it was, Sally Mason, now Bruce Harrell. I mean, it's pretty clear. We have a very involved compliance office here. They're on top of everything. So that's just business as usual. Like I said, it's not like everybody seems to think that a couple of weeks ago the college basketball, the whole college basketball landscape has been run. No, not for us. We do things a certain way, and that's it. And we'll just keep doing it that way.
Do you have your finger
kind of
on?
mentioned the way the NCAA is.